When a friend asked me to join him on a trip through northern Laos on enduro bikes, I didn't even know where Laos was. So when we left Frankfurt for Luang Prabang, we had no idea what a great adventure was waiting for us.
Bye, girl.
พวกเขามีความยินดีที่จะรับใส่ทานและขอขอบใจที่ท่านเลือกใช้บริการของการบินลาว Ladies and gentlemen, we are beginning our descent to Luang Prabang International Airport.
Beautiful Luang Prabang at the confluence of the Nam Khan and Mekong Rivers has a nice French colonial charm and used to be the royal capital until the communist takeover in 1975. The city is well known for its numerous Buddhist temples and its historic town center, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. At the top of Mount Pusi is the Golden Temple of Wat Kom Si, and the Lao believe that if you set a bird free, you will enjoy good luck on your trip. Charly's Offroad Laos Adventures is a business run by off-road enthusiasts who love their country and who offer guided tours on enduro bikes. Our tour guide was Guy, a former Lao and English school teacher who wasn't only a good rider but also a fantastic cook, and with his Lao background and extensive knowledge of this country and its history, culture and people, he provided a perfect link between us and the local people. We started our trip by crossing the Mekong River and then headed for the mountains. It was dry season and the slashing and burning of crops and rice had just started, but there were still some river crossings where you could get your feet wet. The bikes were modern 250cc 4-stroke Hondas, just perfect for these road conditions with sometimes over 200 kilometers on bumpy dirt tracks. Stop! It was a rough ride in these conditions, so we had to get some welding done every other day when a tail frame broke. But even in very rural areas, you can always find a small roadside repair shop. Every day we would stop in a small village where Guy would ask the locals to use their kitchens to prepare a delicious meal using whatever the fridge or the garden had to offer.
Ginger, garlic, onion.
Don't forget the chili. Yeah, don't forget the chili. Lots of chili.
Yes.
From the look on the children's faces, one could tell that they don't get to see many falang on enduro bikes. Gee, these were the best scrambled eggs I ever had in my life. And there was always some sticky rice to share, a very typical part of any Lao meal.
They grow rice, okay, and they make money from some corn or hops.
The places we stayed at for the night varied from small homestays with 6 or so rooms to bigger hotels in more populated areas. We loved strolling around the local markets and tried some of the local food, which is sometimes very special. Did you ever have spicy grilled bullfrog for breakfast?
The guy's going to show us how to eat bullfrogs.
But you eat them all, or just some parts?
Some part.
Chili inside? Ja, da sind Gewürze drin.
When you cook, you put chili inside.
Das ist ja kein Frosch, das ist eine Kröte.
Enough for you, Frank?
Yeah, I have enough.
The towns and villages varied enormously, from having concrete buildings with wonderful woodwork to simple bamboo huts. The Lao are constantly working and building and cleaning and above all, constructing new and better roads to enable the country to adapt to the ever-increasing traffic and tourism of their developing economy. Laos' color in the dry season is yellowish ochre, just like the roads, the dust we were eating, and the omnipresent Lao beer crates and banners. The next day we had to cross the Mekong once more, this time on a smaller and more improvised ferry boat. After having passed the Golden Triangle, defined by the confluence of the Mekong and Luang rivers and where Laos, Myanmar and Thailand's borders meet, we drove north along the amazing Mekong River, always looking over to Burma, or Myanmar as it is called today. The days were filled with spectacular views, meeting nice people, riding in challenging conditions, some repairing of the bikes and enjoying Guy's spicy and delicious cooking. Riding fast on these sandy roads was a lot of fun, but one should never forget that even if there's not much traffic, it's still a two-way traffic system. Within seconds, the road surface can change from dry dust to slippery clay, and you always have to watch out for cows, water buffaloes, chickens, dogs, and multitudes of kids playing on the road or on their way to school. The people in Laos are used to riding their small scooters in any kind of bad road condition. This makes them great off-road riders. They just go for it with a smile on their face. This guy obviously had much less trouble getting through here than some of us had.
Andi, so geht das.
The Lao cook over wood or charcoal. They might make a wood fire on the ground in the middle of some stones that balance a cooking pot. Often you will find small restaurants or shops that sell consumer products like soft drinks or potato chips. The men go hunting by night, so here we had a delicious lunch with deer, dried pig's tongue and fermented root, and, needless to say, sticky rice. Icon! We felt very welcome by the people. Hundreds of kids playing at the roadside would wave at us whilst passing by on our dirt bikes. Except for the rest day in Luang Nanta, we covered distances of some 120 to 200 kilometers a day on sandy dirt trails in the mountains. The short tarmac bits were in great shape and fun to ride on. Some days we would spend 8 to 10 hours on the bikes enjoying the landscape.
Everybody just come and get
Here in the mountains, with dozens of different tribes and animistic beliefs, tradition is very important. Some villages are built high on mountain ridges and the people have to walk for hours to get fresh water. Some 150 ethnic subgroups within 50 primary ethnicities are officially recognized. We brought footballs, colored pencils and paper with us to offer to the village kids in local schools.
You tell him that he should get.
Subsistence agriculture accounts for half of the GDP and provides 80% of all employment. Rice is the main crop, which is grown during the rainy season. Over 70% of Lao farming households are self-sufficient in rice.
What are you looking for the soup?
This lady with her roadside kitchen and one plastic table was even running a takeaway food business, and while Guy was preparing another meal with fresh herbs from the garden, she sold her tasty and fresh food in plastic bags to people passing by on their scooters.
But then you get all the money.
Yeah, you get all.
Buddhism is the main religion in Laos and is often closely tied to more traditional animistic beliefs. Every town has beautiful temples and monks of all ages in their saffron yellow robes are to be seen everywhere. What's that?
Maybe we go to the next one.
On our way north towards the Chinese border, we noticed how the people and their villages changed. I especially loved it when we stopped at the local school to meet the kids and drop off a football. The teachers were happy to see Guy taking over as a teacher and showing the kids how to do magic tricks. He would let them read the Lao and English alphabets out loud, and then they would sing kids songs like the Rabbit song.
Ej, prøv at dyde det der.
Ja, aber die lächeln sich nicht automatisch an, wenn du wieder lächelst. Nicht alle. Nö. Die ist sehr müde.
Lutin, numa de suire. Numa de eu sou algo assim.
Bye bye.
Big section and then right, and you keep on the left, it's around 20.
Not only was riding on the dirt tracks great fun, but riding the tarmac roads wasn't any less fun. It sometimes felt just like racing on a supermotard track. For a biker used to European traffic conditions and regulations, this truly is motorcycle heaven. Climbing into mountains, passing villages, and every now and then crossing a river, we got closer to the Chinese and Vietnamese frontiers. The hotels tried to meet Western standards, but compared to the bamboo huts that we could see from our hotel rooms in the morning mist, it felt like staying in a palace. The next morning, we had a typical breakfast with noodle soup and then had a look at another local market. With all the smells and vibrant colors, this was always a feast for the senses. When walking over these food markets, one gets the impression that there's almost no thing on earth that cannot be eaten or used for cooking. The Lao were extremely kind, friendly and welcoming. As we drove by, people would enthusiastically wave and yell "Sabaidi" to us. In some villages you could tell that the people were not used to seeing Europeans at all. Sometimes it took us a few minutes to convince the kids that we meant no harm, but only wanted to give them a football to play with. I have to admit that I am really not what you would call a soccer enthusiast, but I once more understood that kicking a soccer ball is like the universal language that is spoken worldwide. On our way back, heading south, we passed the beautiful karst and limestone mountains near Nong Khiao. Luang Prabang was only a day's ride away. Nong Khiao is a sleepy little village on the banks of the river Nam U. Ecotourism offices offer trekking, cycling and kayaking around these beautiful limestone mountains. It is hard to beat just standing on the bridge and gazing at the river. Riding alongside the Nam U, we could feel that the end of this amazing trip was closing in, so we took the chance and had a bath to wash off the dust. Riding over the old bridge in Luang Prabang in the light of the setting sun, I felt really sad that this fantastic week was soon to be over. Charlie was waiting for us, happy that no one got hurt and waiting to hear our stories, which we told him excitedly over a cold beer Lao.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ